for my shift. It was a very, very busy shift. Good evening, it's 11 o'clock. I didn't film throughout the day, mainly because I was just watching football with my family. After football, I took a quick shower, and now I am trying to stay up until 3 a.m. because I'm not fully switching to a day shift schedule. I'm flipping halfway, so I will be sleeping from 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. to 11 or 12 p.m. so then I still have time to live throughout the day, and it'll be easier for me to adjust back to when I have to work a full 7 to 7:30. So the day before my night shift on Thursday, my plan is to go about my normal life, and then I have work until 6:30 and probably take a nap, eat dinner, and stay up as late as possible, and hopefully go to bed by 7 or 8 a.m. so that I'm fully rested for the entire shift. I think I said this earlier, but I felt way better than how I thought I was going to feel throughout the night, and that is even with just 7.5 hours of sleep and then a 4-hour nap in between. So I'm just going to edit and watch some YouTube videos because staring at my screen does keep me up. Something that I already regret doing today is not drinking coffee earlier. I was thinking about it because I thought I could power through, and I think I will be able to. But instead, I'm just going to drink a lot of water and eat snacks when I feel hungry, and hopefully that will keep me up until 3. I just finished up a quick 4 hours at the doctor's office. I just want to try and make some money where I can because I won't be working as much during February and a little bit of March. I successfully got 8 hours of sleep last night. I fell asleep at 2:45 and I woke up right at 10:58. So even a little bit more than 8 hours of sleep. I'm going to head to my school gym, and I have a yoga class there at 6 o'clock. So hopefully that doesn't get canceled again, and then I will be heading to my boyfriend's house for dinner. After work, I went to the gym, did back and biceps, and went to my yoga class, and my body needed that class so badly. It was gentle yoga and meditation. It was a lot of slower flows and stretching and meditation towards the end. I just felt much less tense after. And then after, Nick and I went to his house and hung out for a little bit, and now I am stressing myself out because I just feel like I have no time to do anything. Even though I know I gave myself grace and got things done early when I was on a normal schedule so that I wouldn't have to feel like this, but I still am. I just scheduled myself not at a great time tomorrow, so my plan is to go to sleep again at 3 o'clock and wake up at 11, and then I plan to go straight to the gym and then go to school to work after, and it just feels like timing of it all is too close together. But honestly, now that I'm looking at the calendar, I have 20 minutes in between going to the gym and going to school that I can quickly eat and breathe after, and I know in between the classes that I work during there's downtime to eat. I don't know, I think I'm just getting in my head about my time management skills right now, even though I know that I work so hard to get my stuff done ahead of time so I can give myself grace. But I think what I need to focus on right now is editing my budget video, and then I'm going to consider doing a couple of the things I wanted to do later in the week to keep myself up, or just edit my next video. I think I just put unnecessary pressure on myself to get things done early because all the things that I want to do this week are due in a couple of weeks. I could take a couple of weeks off and not do anything if I wanted to, but I think I just need to focus on each thing at a time and not worrying about having to get things done on a certain day every day of the week. I just have to be flexible with myself. So that being said, I think I am just going to edit and see where the rest of this night takes me. Good morning. It is 11:20. I am about to head out to the gym. I woke up an hour earlier than I wanted to. I'm thinking in part because I did not eat a snack before I went to bed, and my sleep mask also slipped out, and so some light was protruding through my eyes, which does not help when you're trying to sleep throughout the day, but that's okay because I can take my time with getting ready for the gym and eat some lunch before I head to work at my school from 2 to 6:30ish. It's 11 o'clock and I lied to you guys earlier. I did not do legs. I did chest and triceps. I'm going to put a little screenshot of what exercises I did and how much weight I did with them because I enjoy seeing what other people do during their workouts. And since I don't want to film while I am at the gym, I think it's the least that I could do. But luckily, I did have enough time to drink my protein shake, eat lunch, and drink my coffee before I worked at the school today. So I do work in the skills lab. There are two classes that happen in the lab, health assessment and fundamentals, and I was helping out in health assessment today. So the focus was vital signs checkoff and a demonstration of their first validation, or that involved the general survey, just taking a look at the whole person, skin, hair, and nails, as well as musculoskeletal. So what I do during the lab varies, but in both of the classes today, there were an odd number of people in both classes, so I was the odd man out partner for their skills checkoff, and I walked them through the validation that they have next week, and I also clean up the lab in between classes and after all the classes. And the nice thing about this job is that I can do some schoolwork during the lecture portion. So I got a couple of practice tests done. And if I'm being honest with you guys, I am procrastinating doing a bit of work. I only have a couple more chapters for my literature book that I have to read for the week, but for some reason I cannot bring myself to read it. I keep giving myself the excuse that I can't read it at night or else I'll fall asleep, which in part is true, but I do have to finish it at some point. So for at least a little bit of tonight, I am going to read the rest of the chapters that I have to read for the week and do the vocab assignment that I have to do every week for my literature class, but I think I will hold off on the discussion board post because I feel like I have to be completely awake and alert to write a good discussion board post, but if I feel up to the task, I will do that tonight. It's 2 o'clock and I am absolutely struggling to stay up right now. I finished up the chapters that I have to read for literature as well as the vocab assignment. I did look at the discussion board for this week, but it's about a very specific topic that I am not mentally alert enough to do tonight, so that will be pushed to a later date. But then I decided to do something silly and move on over to my bed to start editing this video, which has probably made me 1,000 times more sleepy than I would have been if I just stayed at my desk. I think some of the struggle that I am having adjusting to being nocturnal is that I can't move about my house freely. I'm basically containing myself to my room for at least 5 hours of the night, which is making me a little stir crazy. I don't know how I managed to do this during the pandemic, but I digress. I just want to be considerate to my parents so that I'm not waking them up while they are sleeping, but I also have to consider my well-being because I cannot stay in here for too long, and I also want to spend time with my dog Duke, who stays downstairs, because if he goes up here, he tends to eat things that are not edible. But I think I'm going to let myself go to bed a little earlier, like 30 minutes, because I promised Nick that I would go to the gym with him tomorrow morning at 11:30. I probably could have said noon and he would have been fine with it. We are doing legs, which takes the longest amount of time. I would like to eat lunch with him before I work in the lab tomorrow. So if that requires a little bit of sleep to be sacrificed, that's alright. But I think I'm just going to get all of my stuff ready that I can for tomorrow, and I'll see you in the morning. My head is searing right now, but I realize that I haven't talked to you guys all day today, so I just wanted to check in. I woke up at around 10 o'clock, which means I did not get 8 hours of sleep, but that's okay. I chilled in my bed for a little bit, and then I headed out to go to the gym, and we did legs. I went to Nick's house for lunch, and he made me a protein shake, and then before I knew it, it was time to go to work at the school today. It was nice because I got to catch up with one of the faculty members I haven't seen in almost a year, and we were just chatting while everyone was practicing all of their skills, despite how jam-packed everything was. But I did manage to finish everything that I wanted to do for the night during the day, which you would think that I would feel good about, but now I have to find things to entertain myself for the rest of the night. But the only things I can think of right now are getting ahead on my schoolwork, editing, and playing The Sims, and I honestly don't want to get too far ahead on my schoolwork. I'm already like 3 weeks ahead, so I should probably calm down and find something that will relax me more. I could finish up my book for literature, but that almost put me to sleep last night, so I definitely can't do that if I'm trying to stay awake. Even though I said that I don't want to get too far ahead, I think I would like to start writing for my capstone paper and start my final project for my Spanish class, or at least make a little outline or something, because those things do take a while to figure out. But maybe I'll let myself watch some TV or play The Sims 2 to stay awake tonight. Good morning, or good evening, still for me. It is 3:56 a.m. and I cannot believe that I am still awake right now. For the past almost 6 hours now, I have just been shuffling between schoolwork, editing, and watching YouTube videos and podcasts. I did end up writing a little bit for my capstone paper. I wrote the entire introduction, and that requires a lot of reading academic journals, papers, textbooks, whatever, and that takes up a lot of mental energy, and I do have to focus when I'm doing that, but I am feeling some Sunday scaries for my shift tonight. I was just looking at the paperwork that I need to do for the assignment portion of the course. I think there's a bit of a gap between my knowledge about the assignments and what I'm supposed to do for them, and I'm just feeling a little lost. The fact that all of my classes are mainly online is very nice, but it's also harder to ask questions about the course if I can't see anyone in person. And it's kind of like my freshman year of college where most of our classes were online because of COVID, but I know that I can just shoot someone a quick email and my fears will be washed away. Even though this big journal assignment kind of scares me. It has gotten me to think about how I am approaching my clinical because it's asking me questions like, how are you achieving these competencies and what personal goals have you set and how have you been preparing for clinical? What resources have you been using? And I kind of just la-di-da'd my way throughout the first night, but I am thinking of writing myself some goals for each of the competencies I have to write about for this midterm journal, which are nursing process, patient-centered care and caring, patient education, communication, and teamwork and collaboration. But I think for right now, what I need to focus on is winding down, trying to get 8 hours of sleep straight. If not, that's okay. I am willing and able to take a nap if I need to tomorrow. I have been quite reliant on my screen, so I think unwinding tonight will look like reading a book for leisure instead of for school, and just feel well rested and energized for tomorrow's shift. Good morning. It is now 1 o'clock. I woke up at 12:30 and I've just been scrounging downstairs for snacks to pack. I've packed some popcorn, cheese sticks, apples, and some peanut butter, and I'm going to try and look for a couple of meat sticks, but my plan for right now is to stay up until 3 o'clock and take a quick 2-hour nap from 3 to 5. The worst thing about having to wake up and then take a nap closely after is that I cannot drink coffee right now, even though it sounds so good, but it will make the coffee that I make later taste so much better. For right now, I think I'm going to edit and possibly read some of my book for literature because I know that makes me sleepy and that will help me nap. Good morning. It is 6 o'clock and I am about to head out to clinical. Last time for my first shift, my parents drove me and picked me up in the morning, but I insisted on driving myself today. I wanted to put my big girl pants on and do some things independently, even though my parents are the sweetest people in the universe and insist on driving me everywhere. But I also like driving alone because it's much more peaceful and quiet, and all I have to think about is my safety on the road. And I want to enter into this clinical from a place of peace and keep my head in the game and not focus on everything that's going on around me. So I have to head out now, but I will talk to you guys as soon as I can. Good afternoon. It's already 5:45. Cannot believe it. I was going to chat about my shift after my nap today, but I left my mic in the car, so we're just going to talk about it now before I head out. So, the drive to the hospital was all right. There was a little bit more traffic than I was expecting, but I got to the hospital safe and sound. We received 5 patients from the day shift and eventually received a patient from the emergency department at 5:30. It was a very busy shift. A lot of our patients had meds every hour or every couple of hours, and med pass does take a lot of time, so does assessments and charting and all of the things that nurses do. We didn't even start charting our assessments on our patients until 1:30, so that would be what, 6 hours into the shift, so halfway through, but everything got charted. I just want to mention a few things that I did during the shift to make it a little more interesting. Of course, I did med pass, assessments, care planning, education. I did tube feedings for officially the first time. I did wound care for the first time. I don't know how I've gone so long without doing wound care, but there's a first for everything. I also crushed meds, flushed through the feeding tube, and what else did I do? And I also hung some IV antibiotics, which I have never done. I've only ever hung primary fluids. It has been a while since I've done that, but I did do the progress notes, the care planning, and the education in a couple of the patient's charts. And my preceptor said I did really good on assessments and my progress notes. Progress notes is one of the things that I really wanted to work on during my preceptorship. I feel pretty good about them, but I did do the assessments, like all of the charting for the easier patients during the shift. And of course, I asked questions, but I hope to take on more patients to chart on, do the care plan, progress notes, so that I can get into the swing of things. We didn't have lunch until 2:30, but honestly, I was feeling quite good throughout the night. I feel like my body has definitely adjusted to a night schedule quite well, especially because I made sure that I got 10 hours of sleep before. That'll get you well rested. A couple of things I want to improve on is just efficiency in my medication passes as well as IV fluid priming, and I want to learn secondary tubing, but that is when that opportunity presents itself, I would love to learn, but it hasn't yet. There were a couple of misadventures during the shift. I accidentally got pink highlighter on my white scrub top, and then later in the shift, after we were like a few hours into the shift, there was orange stuff on my scrub top as well near the pocket. I have no idea where that came from. I did wipe most of it off with the purple top wipes, which is like the things you use to clean the surfaces. And then my preceptor told me to try bleach, and that definitely helped. Don't worry, I did put like a towel underneath my scrub top so that I wouldn't just get bleach on me, and I did shower right after. But there were those two things, and we were running out of the tube feed for the patient that required it, and we had to run around the hospital trying to find where this patient's tube feed was. So I definitely got my steps in last night. I would say it was a great shift in regards to me progressing towards my skills. I wrote a lot of notes in the little downtime that we had just to make sure that I remember everything that I did so I can take credit for my work when I am doing my assignments for the course as well as just for future reference. My body felt perfectly good throughout the night. I had none of the abdominal cramping, nausea, or blurred vision towards the end of the shift. But then we gave report and I drove home. It was very peaceful compared to the drive over there. Once I got home, I took a shower, ate a little bit of breakfast, went to bed around 9 o'clock. I woke up at 1, hung out in my bed, and I ate spam, eggs, and rice for lunch. And I've just been watching the movie that I have to watch for my Spanish film class. I am so glad I decided not to watch this film in particular when I was trying to stay up late at night because it is 2 hours long and it's in black and white. It's a recipe for going to bed, basically. But it is very good. I am almost done. I have the last 30 minutes. I hope that I can finish watching it tonight and then do my assignments tomorrow, but that just depends on whether or not Nick is planning on doing his schoolwork once he gets home from work, which is very soon, so I have to get going. It's already 2 o'clock. Oopsie. I fell asleep at 1:40 last night, which is way later than I wanted to. So I woke up later and I had to rush to the school because open lab started at 9 o'clock and I have not eaten anything except for a cheese stick today. So I gotta eat lunch. And then what I'm thinking is to film my money reset video while it's still light out. And the main thing that I want to finish for school today is finishing up my assignment for my Spanish class. Good morning. It's already 10 o'clock on Sunday. I have been a little bit of a mess. I took a big fat nap yesterday afternoon instead of doing my schoolwork, but I let myself do that because I probably needed the sleep. And then I ate dinner right after, and after dinner, Nick and I had a very big long call where we went over his budget for February, and we also started to finalize what Airbnbs we wanted to book for our Tennessee trip in May. I woke up at 9:30 this morning when I meant to wake up at 8 o'clock, so oopsie. I was going to pick up a couple of things from Ulta and Target. That is simply not going to happen because I got sunscreen in my eye while I was getting ready today, so I'm just gonna head over to their house before we head to church and spend the rest of the day hanging out and doing schoolwork. I don't know why I decided to film while I am laying like this, yet here we are. I had to rush home from Nick's house because I completely forgot to turn in my clinical hour sheet, and I knew it was at home, so I had to take a quick picture of that and upload it. But that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have been enjoying the mix of the lifestyle content as well as my normal personal finance videos. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye guys.